So again, just as a recap, what this looks like is starting from a clearly defined outcome and working backwards, breaking down a target to understand how we're going to get there, looking at the value stream and understanding how is the work flowing at the moment and where is it constrained, and then looking at dependencies and how to break those dependencies in order to improve that flow. And the effect of this is that we clarify goals. We really commonly understand as a group where we're headed and how we plan to get there. We identify what's in between us and our target destination, what's impacting us currently. And then we look at how we can address those impacts and break them, avoid them, mitigate them, minimize the effects of those constraints. And as a result, we end up in a situation where infrastructure moves faster. So my product team can move faster and the organization can move faster as a whole. And what you see as an impact on the actual individual teams is that by taking this platform approach, you can really dramatically reduce the impact on those teams, the cognitive load, the toil, the manual work, the repetitive work, but you also get a much higher impact. So in organizations that switch to these scenarios where they create a platform that product teams can actually serve themselves through, you get ratios where like 5 people are supporting 50 product teams. And that ratio is impossible if you have any kind of manual interaction, any kind of direct interaction between the teams. You have to have self-service to reach that level of productivity, but you can get there. And flow engineering can help you sort of understand the path to getting to that result. As a product team, you start reducing the amount of waiting that you have to do on a regular basis. You deploy more often. That means you get faster feedback. It means your customers are more satisfied. It means that all of your individual contributors are able to onboard faster. They get more time to focus on their job. They spend more time in the flow because they don't have to wait as much to get results or outcomes or help from other teams. And so your overall lead time shrinks dramatically. That means your customers are getting value. That means your organization is getting value much faster, much more often. So just to recap, we needed to go faster. We looked at what we were doing and what was slowing us down. That led us to constraints in the form of dependencies in other teams. It led us to examine capabilities that we could leverage inside the team and build out in our dependent teams. And after that, what happens is we create this flow roadmap, which I'm going to explain now, that really lays out from a strategic level how we get from where we are to our target outcome in a form that people are really familiar with. Like roadmaps, we see them in product, we see them in tech. We don't see them in terms of workflow and productivity and velocity and quality. So that's what a flow roadmap is. It's the how that helps you deliver all of the what in your other roadmaps. So it's the how your product roadmap gets shipped. It's the how you actually accomplish anything in your technical roadmaps. And it can bridge the gap between the two of them. So coming out of flow engineering, what happens is we have a lot of ideas for experiments, for changes, for things that we want to do to address the constraints that we've identified. So what we can do is, instead of treating all of those as equal and starting from the top, we can plot those in terms of what are the most important ones that are easiest to accomplish. And that helps us prioritize and form up an understanding of what we can do today, 3 months from now, 6 months from now. And we look at this from a couple of different dimensions. We look at targets and deliverables as things that we want to do, things that we need to get done. We look at key metrics of success. So how are we going to measure progress towards those targets and deliverables? How are we going to know that we're on the right track? You'll recognize this again from outcome mapping. Measurement is how we understand that we're on the right track. But also we look at methods of success. What are we going to do to impact the metrics that are going to deliver the outcomes? So hopefully this paints a very clear picture for folks of how to get from a target outcome to a very clear strategic and tactical game plan that makes sense to the highest executive leadership in your organization and the person who just joined yesterday, and everybody in between. So if this is valuable to you, if you feel like you want more information about this, there is a free ebook that covers this in much greater detail from flow.visible.is. It's my website. All you have to do is sign up and you'll get it through email. As a result of signing up for the book, you'll also get the email course, which is the whole ebook broken down into 7 days worth of course content that gets delivered every day. You'll get a piece of it. So even if you are like me and you download an ebook and then never read it, this is going to get it to you every day in a bite-sized chunk that's very easy to get through. And it's easy to share with your team as well. I'm also writing a book with my co-author, Andrew Davis, on this subject of cross-organization collaboration, flow, and flow engineering. It's going to come out from IT Revolution, the folks behind the Phoenix Project and the DevOps Handbook. That is coming out later next year. But we have a newsletter in the meantime that's going to come out every 2 weeks. It's got insights from the book. It's got stories, cases, video from us, conversations, news, things that we find interesting. We're really aiming to deliver a lot of value between now and when the book comes out and beyond. So if you're interested in this as an area of study, and following along with my journey, learning more about this and trying to communicate as much as possible what I see in the industry and the results of this practice, please do sign up at that address, inside-out.work, and reach out to me on my website, visible.is. I'd love to hear from you and tell me about your challenges. Tell me why you think this wouldn't work for you. Tell me about your successes using similar practices, or whether you use something similar but different. I would love to hear all that. But that's all I have. Thanks very much.